This is the new Pro Dash Cam from Viofo. Hey guys, hello, keep it dirty off-road, and if you follow this channel long enough, you know I'm a big fan of Viofo cameras. We've been running them for a few years, especially after I had an accident or another dash cam just didn't record. We've been running Viofo since then. Cameras just always work, and they have some of the best features on the market to make sure that you know if this thing is working or not, so that when you have an accident, you're ready. So when they asked me if I wanted to take a look at their new Pro camera, I jumped on it because this thing has some really cool features. In this video, we're going to give you guys an overview of the camera, what's new for the new Pro model, and then we're going to get it installed and see how the video looks on this, because this thing is now promising 4K front, 2K rear, which is a big upgrade. All right guys, let's get into it. The new camera has a very similar form factor to the old wedge-shaped cameras in the past. The one main difference that I'm noticing is now you get USB-C for everything. You also get the main camera. There's your adjustable camera that goes on the windshield. It has a separate GPS puck. And then you have your rear camera, which is a 2K camera, and then your interior camera captured inside the cab. The way you know it's the interior one is because of the IR lenses. You also get the CPL filters, which is really great. Typically, this used to not be included. Now it's becoming standard on all the A229 cameras, which is pretty cool. You want this so you can get a nice clear image. You get additional stickies so that if you mess it up, you can do it again. You also get these two decals right here. I don't recommend using these, but if you want to have a clean install and not worry about where you install it, you can use these decals to put on the surface first, and then you put the camera on top of it. So if you decide to change your mind and take it off, you can. It'll be a little bit easier. These don't work so well in the warm climates of Southern California though, because the heat gets them and they disconnect. Now, what else is included in the kit is you have your cable going to the back. This is looks like USB-C to USB-C going to the rear camera. This is kind of nice to see because some of the other cameras have a unique connector. Now it's a USB-C cable, so it makes it nicer. Front camera though, while it is USB-C here, it is a stereo connection here. Well, TRS connection is I guess the correct term. And then USB cable with the cigarette lighter connection to wire it into your vehicle. And you do have a couple ways to wire this in. You can use a cigarette lighter option and wire it on there. Have it be an easier install, or you can also get their hardwire installation kit for them. I highly recommend you get this because this allows you to use all the features of the camera. The camera has parking modes, and in parking modes you have a couple different options you can set, whether it's based on motion or set based on time lapse. I like to use time lapse. If you don't have the hardwire kit, this only functions as a dash camera and it only turns on and off based on the key. If you have that hardwire kit, it'll recognize when the vehicle's on and off, and it'll activate parking mode, and you can set parking mode to be time lapse. That's what I use, and it works really, really great. What is new for this camera? According to Viofo, the new camera is getting higher quality sensors. It's the Sony Starvis sensors, and they're both front and rear. So this right here is a full true 4K sensor, and this is a 2K sensor. Both are more than enough quality than you need for capturing license plates and all that stuff. Very few cameras do true 4K. Most of them will say they do 4K, but they're actually doing 2K like the little one in the back. This is really cool to see a true 4K camera from Viofo in the front, which is awesome. We've run these for a long time. The video quality has been really great. I expected it to be much better than some of the other ones we've tested in the past because of that 4K sensor and because it's a Sony Starvis sensor too. According to Viofo, the interior camera is also upgraded. So this is a new camera. It's infrared camera. It's only 1080p on the inside, but honestly, that's all you really need. I recommend running an inside camera because while this covers the front, this covers the back, nothing really covers the sides. And the inside camera, if positioned correctly, you can get some of that side view through your window. So I do recommend it. And then also, obviously, for anybody doing any kind of ride sharing or something like that, it's good to have in-cab footage. Another cool feature of the new cameras is they now support HDR, so you can get much brighter images from them and they'll perform better at night. This camera also has voice controls, which is new for these, but also this does notification, and this is one of the best features of the Viofo. You guys have heard me talk about this before. If this thing's not recording, it'll tell you it's not recording. No other dash cam does that, and that's a key feature of why I run these. If you get into the truck, you turn it on and off, and it starts beeping on you continuously, it means, hey, there's something wrong. Check the camera. It's not recording. Most cameras, when they're not recording, there's no notification. They're just not recording. And then you get into an accident and the footage don't work. And that's what happened to me, and that's one of the reasons why I switched to Viofo cameras, because of that notification. And it does other things like tell you when you're going into Wi-Fi. It tells you if it's recording, if it tells you it's in parking mode. So it's really cool to have the voice notifications let you know what the camera is doing so that you know it's working correctly. New cameras also are running on 5G Wi-Fi, so that makes it easier to download clips. But I do recommend choosing a smaller file size, not going for the maximum 10-minute files. Going for like 5-minute files, those are a little bit easier to download. because the file size is going to get pretty big. Now, we've already talked about some of the other features. It does have parking mode, but you can configure parking mode to be an auto detect mode. Well, if it detects a person, it'll start recording. I personally prefer the time lapse. I like the ability to have it recording all the time, so I normally set to time lapse. It also has GPS. Included GPS is pretty important for modern dash cams, so that if you, whatever reason, need to, there's a question about where an accident happened, hard coded into the camera. And then, like I said, this is one of the only few that has a circular polarizer. This is a cool feature to have. A couple other things to look at when you're buying some of these is you can also get a wireless Bluetooth. So this is a little remote. You can put it on anywhere on your dash or on your steering wheel, wherever you want. And if you have something that you want the camera to keep, you can use this remote to push the button and it'll lock the file. I do recommend selecting the right type of SD card when you're running a dash cam. Common mistake most people get is they just get any run-of-the-mill SD card and the SD cards fail or they don't record. And typically you want to get what they call a high-endurance SD card. Viofo's taking all the guesswork out of it and they're offering SD cards now themselves. This is a Viofo branded SD card that is a high-endurance SD card specifically for dash cams. These last longer, they have less errors, less issues, and I highly recommend you get them when you get your camera. Because this is a 4K, 2K camera, the file sizes are going to be a bit bigger, so you do want to go bigger. You want to go 256 or higher. These cameras will support up to 512 gigs, so highly recommend at least a 256 or a 512. That's more than enough for a full day's worth of driving recording, maybe about 8 to 10 hours of recording. Well worth having all that extra footage. We're going to go ahead and update the software on the camera first before we get it installed. And this is just, something you guys should be doing to make sure you have the latest and greatest features, as well as the latest and greatest bug fixes and all that stuff for your setup. To do this, you're going to need the camera, you're going to need some of the cables, and you're going to need the SD card. Viofo actually makes it super easy. All you have to do is load the new file onto the SD card, pop it into the camera, power it up, and it'll automatically update. Let's go to the Viofo website and get the new file. The website for the product you're actually looking to update, in this case it's the A229 Pro, and sometimes it should be all the way down at the bottom. Now if it's not there, you just go to their support section of the website and go to firmware and manuals. Here we look for a camera, in this case it's the A229 Pro. You can download your manuals here, and down here we have the firmware. FWA229P file is the actual upgrade file, so we're going to go ahead and download. So we're going to load the 229p.bin file onto our SD card. Take our SD card, put it into the SD card slot on the camera, plug it up to the top, on top of the GPS unit, and then we just need to wait for the camera to turn on. Once you get the right power, you get a red light, and the camera will turn on. Now I'm going to go ahead and let it turn on for the first time, just make sure everything works. It's asking for GMT. Oh, what are we? I think we're +8. Could be wrong. Miles per hour.
Please insert a memory card.
Now it wants a memory card. See that beeping noise that it's making? If it doesn't have a memory card, it'll actually tell you, hey, I'm not recording. Recognize the SD card. Every time you put it in an SD card, it'll go ahead and reboot. And there you go. It's updating the firmware. So this is all automatic. It does it once it detects there's a .bin file in the actual SD card, and it does the update for you. Super easy way to do it. Now while that's finishing off, this is a capacitor camera. There is no battery in here, and it's one of the best features of this thing. You don't want a dash cam with a battery inside because it's sitting in the sun all day and batteries expand. Every camera that I've had that has a battery eventually has issues, and eventually the battery will blow up or just not work anymore. Capacitor cameras are the best way to go. I'm going to go ahead and configure this. I'm not going to record everything on the configuration side. I think you guys have seen us configure a lot of these before. The mini system is very similar. If I find anything interesting, I'll make sure I note it, but we're going to go ahead and install this on the truck, drive it around, and do some test footage, and then give you guys my impressions on the video quality of this camera. Alright guys, so overall installation was fairly easy. We didn't have to do anything much extra. We had the A139 Pro back there before. It made the installation that much easier. Overall, I'm really happy with it. Camera quality is pretty good. Both front and rear are much improved from the previous generation. With the filter, we were actually shooting directly into the sun, and normally when you do that with any kind of dash cam, you lose all your visibility. You can't even read plates. With the new camera with 4K plus the filter and all that stuff, we can see the plates on the cars in front of us, which is pretty cool. Definitely an improvement in the quality of the image too. It also looks sharper. It doesn't look so... Typically dash cam footage is pretty low quality. It is much sharper, it looks much nicer. So it is a big improvement even over this guy right here, because they're very similar sensors, I think. I don't know, I think I was getting better better footage from the A229 Pro, because this one does not support 2K in the back, right? You only get 1080p in the back. If you guys wanted to get some, the cameras are going to be on sale on Amazon. This one is not on Amazon yet, but a lot of Viofos other cameras will be the 4Ks with the 21080ps, and there's a lot of different versions of them. They're all going to be on sale on Amazon. You can get some pretty good deals on them right now. A129 Pro, which is the last one we reviewed, this one typically goes for about $140 right now on Amazon from the 10th and the 11th, which is I think their prime fall sale. It's 33% off, and you can get it down to $98. That's across the board. 33% off all Viofo cameras between October 10th and October 11th as part of Amazon Prime's deal. Up to $80 off on some of these. So definitely check them out. Viofo is also doing a sale on the A229 using our code. You get $10 off using code Keep It Dirty 229 Pro. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. Really quick video. Just wanted to kind of show you guys the new camera, show you guys how to update it, show you some samples of the footage. We're going to add this camera along with the other ones to our long-term fleet. Anytime you see dash cam footage, you know it's a Viofo on this channel. So we love these cameras. They're reliable, and I highly recommend them. All right, guys, questions or comments below. Please consider subscribing, and thank you for watching.